Peace, peace, family. Oh. Peace, peace, peace. It is your fellow spiritual girly, Natasha, here with the Spiritual Girly Covenant. And I hardly go live in the evening. It is 9:02 p.m. Central Standard Time where I am, here in the lovely city of Texas, on a beautiful Friday night, and I wanted to hop on live. So I appreciate those of you who will tap into this live as I'm recording, and for those of you who will tap into the recording it shall soon become. So thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Man, stillness. I'm gonna jump right on in. Stillness. Stillness is something so many of us run from. Stillness is something so many of us just don't tap into, take for granted. And then some of us, it's not that we take it for granted. Many of us don't even, stillness is foreign. Stillness is foreign, but the divine, put this topic on my heart. I actually put it on my topic. I actually put it on my heart a lot earlier in the day. But I'm now making the time to come forward with this message for whoever needs to hear what I'm talking about tonight. And I won't keep you. I'm very relaxed. I actually ordered me some soup on DoorDash that I'm awaiting to get here. So it'll be here between 9:25 and like 9:30. So I got about 20 minutes. But I won't be long. But I again felt the need and was called to share, with the spiritual girlies, sis. And when I'm talking about spiritual girlies, I'm talking about everybody, every woman who is on a path, okay, to being her greatest self, her highest self, her most magnificent and beautiful self, her, that woman that you envision, like that you see yourself being, whatever she may be. This is for you. This is for you. It can get very crazy and energetically crazy and loud when you are on your path, right, of awakening, shall you say, or your path to your highest self, when you are working to vibrate higher, okay? The path is very chaotic. It can be very noisy. And what I mean by that is whenever you are journeying back to self, or whenever you are yearning or wanting or desiring or actually delving back into self, there comes a point where there is a lot of static, a lot of noise, a lot of chaos. You're going to get a lot of distractions when that happens. You're going to get a lot of people telling you, what is right, what is wrong. You're going to get a lot of information because you're on this journey, right? And the universe is huge and it's vast. And within the universe has things that aren't really for you. A lot of voices, a lot of thoughts that will come through to you, And the only way that you can kind of clear the noise and clear the ruckus and clear the chaos and clear the static is by spending time in stillness and solitude and silence. And that's hard to do. Like, it's hard to do, Sitting in stillness is is something that we have to practice, okay? Especially if you're someone who's not used to doing it. This is something that you have to practice. You have to practice sitting in stillness, and you have to practice listening to your intuition and listening to your spirit and listening to your voice, because that is your soul, your spirit, that ethereal spiritual you is the only voice, that is the only truth, right? Is the only advice that you should be adhering to, is yourself. Stillness is so important too when it comes to it's medicine, okay? When you have an opportunity to just reflect with yourself, commune with yourself. And it's funny because, especially if you're someone who don't really sit, you can get easily distracted. You can become easily distracted. This is where the phone call, your phone could not have rung all day long, and here it is ringing. Your phone, nobody could have text you and check on you. And the moment you decide to, you know what, I'm gonna spend today with me. I'm gonna spend today, or I'm gonna take an hour to meditate, or I'm gonna take a couple hours to sit with myself and to journal. This is where all the distractions begin to pour in. But stillness is silence. I mean, stillness is medicine. Silence gives you an opportunity to reflect, to reassess. We're in a very noisy world where you have energies literally pulling you in all different directions. You have different pathways to take. You have so much information that you want to learn and soak up, right? And if you're not careful, you could literally find yourself in timelines or on timelines that are not good for you, or beneficial to your journey. Or if you're not careful, you can actually listen to voices that are not yours, advice are not yours, thoughts that are not yours. So the whole point of sitting and our being still, right? What exactly is being still? But before I get into what exactly is being still, I want to say, listen, you gonna be still whether you want to do it or not. You will either do it willingly, especially if you are a divine soul who's being called specifically on a path that involves service to people, service to others, that involve helping others walk their path, or helping others walk, through the void or to the void, or whatever help others awaken themselves. If you are being called to be of service, if you are being called to your life's purpose and mission, no matter what that is, you can willingly do the work. You can willingly sit with yourself. You can willingly sit in silence. You can willingly do the self-studying, do the self-mastery, right? Or you will be forced to do it. You will be forced to do it. And what I mean by you'll be forced to do it, because you'll come to this crossroads where you don't even want to hear what others have to say. You don't even want to even take in others' advice. You've gotten to the point where, like, listen, I'm over it. I'm done. I'm listening to me now. I'm stepping into my highest self now. I want to go within now, because all of the other voices that you've heard, all of the other advice that you may have taken, all of the other tips that you may have tried are not necessarily working for you. Or you are forcefully set down because you've just been running wild, and you're being hard-headed, and you're looping with cycles, and you're repeating patterns, and your resistance is high as hell. Like you have a divine mission, and because you're so distracted, and because you're so caught off guard and so unfocused and not attuned or not doing the work, Spirit, divine sacred source energy, the great mother, the benevolent universe, your creator, your maker, will sit you down. Will sit you down. Will forcefully sit you down to get your attention because you're missing the mark. Apparently, the things that you are doing, that's not what you were meant to do. So you will get sat down, right? But what is stillness? Stillness is where you can sit with yourself and enjoy your own company. Stillness is where you're taking the time to journal. When you journal your thoughts, honestly, when you're honest with yourself in your scripting or in your transmissions through your writing to yourself or writing of your experiences or of your emotions or what you're dealing with at the time, that is stillness. Stillness is where you have the opportunity to, hey girl, it is a party going on, or hey bro, we doing something tonight, we hooking up, we doing X, Y, and Z, and you're like, nah, I'm gonna sit this one out. Stillness is where you intentionally withdraw yourself and sort of like hermit mode, sort of like being in solace or in isolation. It's more of like you're listening to yourself, you're listening to divine sacred energy, you're allowing for your spirit to talk to you, to communicate with you without all of the noise, without all of the static, without all of the chaos or the distractions. That's what stillness is. Stillness is medicine for anyone with a busy mind and an unregulated nervous system. Stillness is for those of us who just are operating in high levels of hypoarousal. Like you're either on either end of the spectrum. You're either turned all the way up, or you're all the way in, or you're turned all the way down and off. There isn't a good balance, okay? An unregulated nervous system, cure is practices of stillness, it's practices of calm. Especially with a busy mind, stillness is medicine for a busy mind. I know for me, I am what you would say an overthinker, or I'm a divergent, an Aquarius sun. So I think a lot, okay? I'm constantly, and it isn't always like, a lot of people call it overthinking, but to be honest, I don't even know what to quite call it, but I think a lot. I have an overactive mind. And sometimes I am literally overstimulated. Now, I know that has a lot to do with like my very high intelligence level and the fact that I'm a witty thinker. I'm tapped in, excuse me, but I also know that it has a lot to do with the state of the world that I physically experience. There's a lot being thrown at me constantly. I have children, I have a relationship, I have a business, I have the spiritual girly covenant, I have my own healing and self-work to do, I have friendships, I have relationships to nurture. On top of that, I operate my business online. I'm on some social media platforms, I'm out in the world, I'm not up under a rock. So there's a lot of things that are being thrown at us. I take the time, and I wasn't even a really big movie or TV watcher. I recently started watching a lot of TV shows or whatnot, like literally the year of 2025. And that's because my fiance watches some really good shows. But I find myself kind of delving in, so I'm dialing back a bit. But I say all that to say that there's a lot being thrown at us on a consistent basis. You could literally be driving down the street and thinking about your grocery list, or thinking about, picking up, your kids from school, or what you're going to eat after school. And then you see a billboard and now you're totally onto this. And then you get off the exit and you see another sign and now you're totally onto this. And now you're driving past maybe a city bus and you see a marketing or an advertisement for this. And now you're thinking about that. And by the time you get home, your brain consciously and unconsciously have scanned and have picked up so many different tidbits and ideas and distractions along the way that maybe you forgot, or maybe you're picking the kids up late, or maybe you forgot to grab dinner, because literally you're overstimulated. So a busy mind, a busy mind needs moment of stillness. Stillness, too, can be acts of like meditation, of yoga practice, um, of prayer. Stillness can be, for instance, I'm going to talk to my therapist tomorrow. Got to be there at 11 o'clock. Stillness is just acts of calm, acts of peace, acts of reflection. Stillness is listening to the divine sacred source energy, listening to the great mother, the cosmic void, listening to your spirit, right? The benevolent universe for direction, for guidance, for answers. If you are ever feeling overwhelmed, if you are ever feeling extremely challenged in different areas of your life, if you are ever feeling unsupported or alone, or you're feeling at a standstill, or you're feeling stagnant, or you are someone who is learning how to release old patterns, ways of thinking, ways of behaving, ways of reacting. If you are someone who is intentionally and diligently, just working to reprogram your entire you, so to speak, then this will help you. Stillness and practicing different acts of calm and peace will assist you. And it's good for you. And it's good medicine for you. Ashe? So I just kind of got a little bit distracted there. Instant, my DoorDash notification came through and it kind of took me off my train of thought. I'm like, oh shoot, my food will be here in a minute. But yes, I wanted to just come in and just share that with whoever needed it. I know I needed it for myself, You got to practice stillness. You got to practice listening to yourself. You got to practice waiting. You got to practice waiting. Oh my gosh, you got to practice waiting. Waiting, 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 and listening for the truth. When I am communing, and I want to share something personal. When I'm communing, right? Communing with my spirit and soul, and with nature and the divine energies and the benevolent universe and the cosmic mother, right? When I'm communing, and I'm always communing, right? We're never disconnected. But when I'm just, you know what I mean? Like just in that space of my work, or truly in depth of a meditation or a reading, what I want to share is that's when things are being revealed. I'm always constantly asking for direction on what to do next. Like even with this particular live, this particular subject, this rising, I asked, is today a good day to do a video on a message that you feel my tribe should hear, my community should hear, the people who rock with me, the people who vibe with my vibe? And what is it I should talk about? And this literally came out, and this was revealed to me. It came out in the reading. So that's why I led with that. And I say that to say, is I'm learning that through stillness, I can move with more intention, if that makes sense. Because it's in the stillness where things are being revealed to me. Further, I can't hear spirit. I can't hear my own thoughts or my own voice. I can't honor my own intuition if I am being pulled and tugged into so many directions. And if I'm not taking the time to do the spiritual work. So, the same ways that a lot of us have jobs or careers or businesses that we run or places that we clock into or things that we operate, like we have a schedule and we know that we have to pour in so many hours physically, physical work to do. Same thing with your spiritual work, spiritual girlies, and everyone who's on the path of self mastery and self God realization. You have a task. You have tasks. One of them is respecting and honoring your moments of stillness. And if you are someone who is reprogramming their mind, reprogramming their body, meaning things that they believed are thought to be true, stillness will assist you a lot, like literally more than you can read all the books and you can watch all the videos and you can get all of the advice and you can contact all of the gurus and all of the coaches and all the teachers. But if you are not bringing it back to you, if you are not bringing it back to self, if you are not sitting with yourself in moments of calm, if you are not actively reprogramming your cellular structure, reprogramming your ideologies, reprogramming your perspective, your mindset. If you're not having these very monumental shifts and pivots of thought, pivots of behavior, then you definitely need to be practicing being calm and being serene because you are reprogramming your body, your system to believe that you are worthy of peace, you are worthy of rest, you are worthy of the things that you seek, the things that you desire. And those things that you truly need to be revealed to you, those things that you truly need to operate in this manner are going to come in moments of silence and solitude and solace and stillness with the divine, with yourself. How do you plan on calming a very busy mind if you don't practice calming a very busy mind? How do you practice getting up out of the fight and flight mode if you don't actually practice getting out of the fight and flight mode? And it's so crazy because I'm even noticing it a lot more in myself. Like I'm picking up on okay, this is a moment for me to rewire what I believe to be true because this ain't true for me. And I know this ain't true for me, but because I haven't taught my body that, or I haven't spent time with myself and reprogramming myself, I can say it all day, but do I believe it? So without being long-winded, I appreciate all of you guys who have tapped in. Thank you so much. Be sure to hit the like button on this video, share this video with somebody who may need it, and of course, be sure to subscribe to my channel. But I want it without being long-winded. I really, really, really want all of my spiritual girlies to anyone, man or woman, but especially my spiritual girlies, my high priestess, my goddesses, my divine feminines, my witches, my brujas, okay, my empresses, my high priestess, Ashe. I need for all of us to understand the value of stillness, of sitting with yourself, sitting with spirit, and what that brings, okay? Because the thing is, we all have a purpose, right? Well, most of us do. Most of the chosen, okay? The spiritual girlies, the light bearers, okay? A lot of us, we have a mission and we have a purpose here, right? And if you are not operating in your purpose, you will be sat down. So that way you can get those downloads. You can hear spirit speak to you. You can hear the divine benevolent universe speak to you. You can allow for your spirit and soul to guide you. If you have a mission and a purpose, and the great mother, what a lot of people like to call God or the creator or the most high, that cosmic void, that is the maker and creator of all, that ethereal spiritual energy, right? You will be set down. You would be set down forcefully if you not do it willingly. So I suggest you do it willingly, because when you are being forced to sit down, you miss out on opportunities because you're ill prepared to handle those opportunities, because your nervous system isn't ready for those opportunities that you envision or dream about. You want the thing, but you're not yet ready and prepared to carry the thing. Does that make sense? So stillness is where you're going to be rejuvenated, refreshed, realigned, directed, guided. This is where clarity comes in, okay? This is where your answers begin to pour in. This is where you get those downloads and those upgrades, okay? So it's very important, okay? So if anything that I said tonight you resonated with, you felt, leave in the comments below. Let me know what you think about stillness. Are you practicing stillness? If you aren't, will you start practicing stillness? Do you see stillness as being beneficial? Or share the ways that, say you were someone who operated in a very, unregulated nervous system, and now you have, after, practice and putting things into play for you to become this very much more calm and serene, regulated system. Share the tips that you may have. Share some tips for the other spiritual girlies that you may have actually implemented in your life that helped you get to where you are. And yeah, of course, again, share this with someone who may need it. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you feel called to. Check out my links. I have an app in the Apple and Google Play Store where you can download it. It's a free app. It's for the spiritual girlies alike. I hand make my own all natural skincare. Got 5-star reviews, so check those out. So you can shop from the app. You can check out my intuitive tarot reading and oracle services. You can also dive deeper into my blogs, and of course, check out the Spiritual Girly Covenant if you are looking for a community that can assist you on this journey of spiritual awakening and enlightenment and divine high priestess work here. So I won't talk y'all head off. Check that out all on my app. And until next time, love you guys. Peace.